Let's see that one down.
Wants it to go.
Whoa.
This may come back a little bit. It should come back a little bit, Rich. Short.
Road number 4, no listening.
Good, yeah. Well, if anybody can get it close to this whole little. It's Steve Stricker, Jim, with that dead hand swing.
Yeah, it's 77 yards, but if he carries 72, as you know, everything kicks forward towards the hole. As Gary pointed out, you can go just slightly right, but not much. Got to be precise with this one. This needs to spin.
It did. There we go.
And off.
All right, Jimmy, how about this second shot for Stricker?
156, a little right to left wind. That hole's cut over on the back right side.
More good
Starting out to the right, trying to draw back.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Gorminator. I'm out here to show you guys how Steve Stricker gets his power, man. Because he does hit it, you know, pretty good out there, right? Like, I think he's in that 300 range. But it doesn't look like he puts effort in. And he's Shapley as well. I mean, they're both, they have that bowed left wrist a little bit as they're swinging, and not a lot of wrist cock going back. So when they start that club back, you watch Steve's practice swings, he doesn't really ever go right here and look like Shapley does. He does his deal, and his deal is more like he takes the club just right over here. He just takes it around the body with the back of that right hand kind of flexed palm towards you. You know, bend the wrist so the palm faces you a little bit. And what that does is kind of de-lofts the club, okay? It'd be like me going like this. If I just did that flexing, you can see how the club face de-lofted. And so that's a bit of how to get the smash factor up and hit it solid, right? So it's opposite of like Hogan, which would be rotating like this. Completely opposite. So Stricker gets his power from what I call a pulley wheel system. It's like a pulley wheel on your fan belt in your car, or the speed skater, with the one in the middle just pulling everything around like this, right? The faster this one goes around this way, the outside just starts picking up speed. Okay, so you'll watch in his practice swings. He'll take it over here, and you'll see there's nothing going like this. He's not swinging and doing this swing here, where he's letting the arm pass the body, or the club head pass the hands. It's probably a better way to describe it. He's not doing this. What he is doing is this. He just takes the club over here, bends the wrist like this, and then you'll see the body unwind as he goes. So it's a little bit different. I mean, bends it over here, then looks around. Now, a lot of times you'll see him with the driver swing, especially, he'll lose his balance.
A lot of this Medicus, I've always, since I started playing better, I've kind of gravitated towards this as far as a tempo tool. We got to have good tempo on the way back, so I use a couple staples all the time. You know, a lot of little shots, practicing loosening up with little shots, and then something like this Medicus to work on that rotation and the tempo.
Okay, tell us about some of the things that you do fundamentally to try and make these shots work for you. You've got the targets, but how can the folks at home become better chippers in terms of what you do?
Yeah, I think for me it's always been I've never changed. Dennis would call me bullheaded. Probably am a little bit.
which makes them good. Yeah.
But it's been my style from day one, and I don't use a lot of hand action. I find that it's more consistent. When I take these long breaks, I feel like I kind of can get back into my short game pretty quickly, and just then go to the tournament and kind of get used to the grass, whatever we're playing on that week. If it's ryegrass, Bermuda, bent. But for me, it's always been fairly simple, and that's not a lot of hand action. And rotate the club to the right, and then depending on what I want to do, if I want to hit it in the air higher, I'll rotate it to the right and then leave it open. Or if I want to hit it lower, I'll rotate it still, or maybe not rotate it as much, and then rotate it and turn it down on the way through to flatten it out a little bit. So I work a lot with a 60-degree sand wedge, and I have my entire career. I don't do a lot of chip and runs with 8 irons. I'll maybe drop down to my 54 degrees. So I keep it pretty simple between 2 clubs, 60 degree and my 54, depending on the shot. You know, it's something, it's probably the most important part. You know, half of our shots come from putting and chipping, more than half. And so it's something that we all need to spend more time doing.
All good information. And if you don't have...
You hit the ball like this, you'll see it kind of fall back. Now that is long arc rotational force. So, you know, guys that are super balanced and have that club like Hogan, come back on the shaft right through the ears this way, everything's totally balanced. That'd be more of the Morad Macro Grady, always wanting this left lead arm vertically this way along the hip, recock the club and the shaft along the ears with the head tilt, all the body tilts. Well, that's not like, even with Hogan, you see him, he's kind of like this, stretched out on the right side sometimes too, right? Well, that happens from a long arc. A short arc is this. When the wrist cock very early, or can cock very early past your body here, and then the club starts folding back to you as the elbow starts to bend. So it's the wrist hinge followed by an elbow hinge. And that's what brings the energy back into you. So if you have a long arc, if you go to Ulmer, uncocking, a la Hogan, he just kept pivoting like this, and then would bring it down to him here. Steve does the same kind of idea. It's like a speed skater taking someone here and going this way, spiral. So that's how Steve gets his power, rotational power, like a pulley wheel. Let's give one a go here. There we go. Probably see when you look at it slow, my wrists look a little like this. You know, you can see I'm uncocked, and also the anatomical terms, I get flexion of the left wrist, or just bending it towards your body, palm towards the body, like this, and that cocks this back of this hand at least 45 degrees this way. And then from over here, you get speed, you know, rotational speed and angular speed by spinning the body and let the club coming out. Keep on going. Bye, Leslie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
I'll look for your mom out there.
Okay.
There we go. That wasn't good. Yeah, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna fucking hurt me. You're out, Stricker.